What if I told you there are wild foods so rare they make gold look cheap? From honey hunted on Himalayan cliffs to mushrooms worth thousands per kilo, these are nature's ultimate hidden treasures. Some require centuries-old rituals to harvest. Others grow in places humans can barely reach. We'll show you a cheese made from wild moose milk and a salt shaped like a dinosaur egg on a remote island in the Philippines. These aren't just ingredients, they're stories of survival, danger, and ancient tradition. People risked their lives scaling cliffs, diving into caves, and trekking through frozen forests to find them. But why are they so rare, and what makes a single bite worth thousands of dollars? Stay with us as we reveal 10 wild foods harder to find than gold. The last one will blow your mind. Himalayan Cordyceps, the priceless zombie fungus. High in the Himalayas lives a real zombie, a parasitic fungus that hijacks an insect's mind, devours it from within, then bursts from its head. The fungus drives its host to a burial spot, mummifying it beneath the soil. But this zombie isn't a monster, it's a treasure. This is Sagumba, the Himalayan caterpillar fungus. So rare, it's worth more than gold. We're journeying to find this natural wonder before it disappears. Scientifically, Cordyceps sinensis is a bizarre hybrid, part insect, part fungus. It grows only in alpine meadows of the Himalayas and Tibetan Plateau at extreme altitudes. For centuries, it's been prized in Tibetan and Chinese medicine, famous for supposed aphrodisiac powers, earning the name Himalayan Viagra. In Beijing, top Sagumba sells for $140,000 per kilogram, more than gold. Each spring, villages empty as families trek into the mountains, camping in harsh conditions. For many, Sagumba is their main income, a lifeline for food, school, and medicine. The hunt is brutal. The fungus is tiny, perfectly hidden. Harvesters crawl on frozen ground, hoping to spot one. The journey is dangerous: freak weather, altitude sickness, deadly falls. This gold rush comes at a cost. Sagumba faces two threats: overharvesting and climate change. A decade ago, collectors found dozens a day. Now they're lucky to find a few. Warming winters shrink its habitat. The soft gold is melting away. Sagumba is a paradox, a natural wonder lifting communities from poverty, yet the wealth it brings pushes it toward extinction. Mad honey, the world's most dangerous sweet. In the misty highlands of Nepal and the rugged coasts of Turkey, there's a honey so rare and potent that even Joe Rogan compared it to gold, saying it's harder to find than treasure. It has been called both a delicacy and a poison. Locals know it as mad honey, a golden liquid harvested from the cliffs where Himalayan giant bees build their massive hives. This isn't ordinary honey. Infused with nectar from rhododendron flowers, it contains granulotoxins, natural compounds that give it hallucinogenic and medicinal effects. For centuries, it's been used by shamans, warriors, and healers during vision quests, for pain relief, and even as a natural aphrodisiac. Harvesting it is a feat of courage and tradition. In Nepal, Gurung honey hunters climb rope ladders dangling hundreds of feet above jagged cliffs, swarmed by angry bees as they pry honeycombs from the rock face. Every drop is hard-earned, a ritual connecting them to their ancestors and the spirit of the mountains. A single spoonful of mad honey can induce lightheadedness, euphoria, or even trance-like states. But too much can cause dizziness, nausea, and even paralysis. That's why it's often called the world's most dangerous sweet. Today, mad honey fetches premium prices on the global market, sought after by adventurous foodies, natural medicine enthusiasts, and luxury honey collectors. In small doses, it's prized as a functional food, believed to boost energy, ease pain, and elevate mood. It's a paradox. In a jar, a rare wild food, balancing between healing elixir and hidden danger, a reminder of how powerful and untamed nature can be. Asín Tibuok, the salt shaped like a dinosaur egg. On a remote island in the Philippines, there's a treasure most people will never see in their lifetime. It's not a gem or metal, it's a salt, forged in fire and shaped like a dinosaur egg. It's called Asín Tibuok, or unbroken salt, one of the rarest salts on Earth. Only a handful know how to make it, so we traveled to the edge of the world to find them before this ancient tradition disappears forever. Our journey took us to the island of Bohol, where a few salt makers, known as Asinderos, hold on to a pre-colonial craft. But their numbers are dwindling. The work is grueling, profits are tiny, and a 1995 law requiring all salt to be iodized made it nearly impossible to compete. With younger generations leaving for cities, the remaining Asinderos are in a race against time to save their heritage. Making Asín Tibuok is a months-long ritual. It begins with soaking coconut husks in coastal pits until saturated with seawater. Then, the husks are chopped, dried, and burned in a continuous fire for days, leaving fine white ash called gasing. This ash is packed into bamboo filters, and more seawater is poured over it. As water drips through, it becomes a super concentrated brine, known as tasik. This is where the magic happens. The powerful brine is poured into handmade clay pots and boiled over a furnace for hours. Slowly, a solid dome of salt forms inside. As it cools, pressure builds until the clay pot cracks open, revealing the Asín Tibuok, a solid orb of salt resembling a prehistoric egg. To help preserve traditions like this, share this video and tell us in the comments about other endangered foods we should know about. Saffron, the red gold of spices. There's a flower hiding a secret worth more than gold. It blooms just a few weeks each year, and inside are 3 tiny crimson threads. To produce 1 pound of this spice, workers hand-pick up to 250,000 flowers. This immense effort makes these delicate threads the most labor-intensive and expensive food on Earth. Saffron's story spans over 3,500 years, beginning in ancient Greece and Persia, where it was prized as medicine, a royal dye, and perfume. At its heart is the crocus sativus, a biological oddity. It's sterile, relying completely on human hands for reproduction. Each flower yields just 3 minuscule stigmas, the saffron we treasure. This fragile biology drives its staggering cost. The harvest is delicate, unchanged for centuries. For 2 frantic weeks in fall, work begins before dawn. Every flower is plucked by hand while still closed, protecting precious stigmas from the sun. Once gathered, workers gently open each bloom, separating the 3 red threads. It's a race against time before flowers wilt. Finally, the threads are carefully dried, losing 80% of their weight and concentrating immense effort into every strand. Beyond labor, modern pressures make farming saffron harder. The plant is finicky, needing hot summers and cool autumns, but climate change brings erratic weather, devastating crops. Farmers face threats from pollution and displaced wildlife, like porcupines feasting on plants. These risks make a fragile crop even more vulnerable. With high value comes the risk of fraud. Dishonest sellers mix pure saffron with fillers like safflower, calendula petals, or dyed paper. Powdered saffron is especially risky. It's often cut with cheap spices. This constant threat means finding authentic saffron requires a trusted source. Desert truffle, the thunder potato of the nomads. In the endless deserts of North Africa, the Middle East, and the Arabian Peninsula lies a hidden culinary treasure some say is worth more than gold. The desert truffle, known locally as the desert mushroom, grows silently beneath the arid sands, waiting for perfect natural conditions. Autumn rainfall, a brief dry season, and a clap of thunder. This rare combination is why locals affectionately call them thunder potatoes. Unlike the highly aromatic European truffles, like Italian white truffles, these desert varieties are prized for their nutritional value, hearty texture, and mild, earthy flavor profile. They're not just a garnish, but a star ingredient in traditional Bedouin cuisine, used in stews, roasts, and even roasted over open fires. You can't farm them, and you can't use a map. You need an experienced desert guide, often Bedouin elders, whose knowledge of the terrain and generations of wisdom let them spot the faintest cracks in the sand, subtle signs these wild fungi are hiding below. Each spring, nomadic families and seasoned foragers venture into the harsh desert climate, enduring scorching temperatures and shifting dunes to seek these elusive gems. For many, this fragile fungus is a vital seasonal crop, a main source of sustainable income, and a symbol of cultural heritage and pride passed down through the centuries. In bustling local markets from Marrakech to Riyadh, a single kilogram of desert truffles can command astonishing prices, sometimes rivaling luxury goods and precious metals like gold and platinum. This makes them truly the gold of the sands, a food both rare and deeply tied to the desert way of life. Wasabi Root, the green diamond of Japan. In the misty mountains of Japan, there's a green treasure chef's call rarer than gold. The wasabi root, known as wasabi, is one of the world's most exclusive ingredients, revered in gourmet cuisine for its purity and complexity. Unlike the cheap green paste found in most sushi restaurants, true fresh wasabi comes from a delicate, knobby rhizome grown in crystal-clear mountain streams. This isn't a crop for factory farms. Wasabi farming is a centuries-old Japanese tradition, demanding pure spring water, shaded valleys, and meticulous care over 18 to 24 months. Farmers say cultivating wasabi is like raising a child. A slight change in water quality, soil pH, or sunlight can destroy an entire crop. That's why real wasabi plants grow only in a few regions, like Shizuoka, Nagano, and the Izu Peninsula. When ready, the knobby wasabi rhizome is hand-harvested and grated into a vivid green paste using a shark skin grater, or oroshi. Unlike imitation wasabi, made from horseradish, mustard powder, and green food dye, authentic wasabi has a clean floral heat that fades in seconds, an experience prized by sushi masters, kaiseki chefs, and fine dining connoisseurs. Its rarity drives its price. A single kilogram of fresh wasabi root can sell for over $300 to $400, making it one of the most expensive vegetables and luxury foods on earth. In Japan, it's called the green diamond, a culinary jewel symbolizing patience, purity, and Japanese heritage. Squashberry, the ancient survival berry. We introduce you to the squashberry, also called Viburnum edule, a wild fruit cherished for centuries by indigenous tribes, herbalists, and modern foragers seeking nature's hidden treasures. In the untamed forests of North America, beneath towering spruce and ancient birch, grows a brilliant red berry with secrets as old as the land. This isn't your average supermarket berry. The squashberry bush thrives in cool, damp woodlands of Alaska, Canada, and the Great Lakes, producing delicate white flowers in spring that give way to vibrant red berries in autumn. These berries offer a sharp, tart flavor and are rich in vitamin C, antioxidants, and compounds believed to support immune health, digestion, and heart wellness. For generations, Native American communities like the Cree, Ojibwe, and Tlingit harvested squashberries as both wild medicine and survival food. Boiled into syrups for winter colds and sore throats, or baked into traditional recipes, they were vital for survival in harsh northern climates. Today, the red fruit of the forest is a hidden gem among wild edibles and nutrient-dense superfoods, overshadowed by crops like blueberries, cranberries, and acai berries. Yet for wild food enthusiasts, plant-based nutrition seekers, and backcountry foragers, it's a rare jewel. Experts call it the northern antioxidant powerhouse, with potential as a key ingredient in functional foods, health supplements, and artisan jams. Finding it requires patience and ecosystem knowledge. The best squashberries grow in shaded, moist soils near rivers and wetlands, part of the biodiversity sustaining wildlife like bears, birds, and moose. Fiddlehead Fern, the coiled spring superfood. In the damp, shaded forests of North America, Asia, and Northern Europe, a green spiral unfurls for only a few fleeting weeks each spring. This rare delicacy is as beautiful as it is elusive, named for its tightly coiled shape that resembles the head of a violin. This isn't just any wild green. Fiddleheads are the young curled shoots of ostrich ferns, Matutia struthiopteris, prized for their crisp texture and earthy, nutty flavor that falls somewhere between asparagus, spinach, and green beans. They're packed with antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin A, and iron, earning them a place among nature's most nutrient-dense superfoods. For centuries, indigenous peoples and early settlers foraged fiddleheads as a vital spring food after long winters. In Japan, they're celebrated as warabi or zenmai, essential in traditional kaiseki cuisine. In Maine and eastern Canada, fiddlehead harvesting is a springtime ritual, passed down through generations of foragers, but finding them requires timing and expertise. Harvest too late, and the ferns unfurl, becoming bitter and fibrous. Harvest too early, and you miss their signature snap and delicate flavor. Foraging fiddleheads also demands caution. Only specific fern species are edible, while others are toxic. Fiddleheads are a sought-after ingredient in farm-to-table restaurants, gourmet kitchens, and wild food markets, often fetching premium prices during their brief season. Chefs celebrate them in stir-fries, pickles, and lightly sautéed dishes, where their vibrant green and tender crunch shine. Moose cheese, the elusive luxury cheese. This cheese costs more than some precious metals. It doesn't come from a cow or a goat. It comes from a moose. It's made at a single farm in Sweden that produces the entire world's supply, just 300 kilograms a year. We came to this remote forest to find out what makes this cheese so exclusive, and to finally taste it. I'm at Elgin's Hus, or the Elk House, the world's only commercial producer of moose cheese. Its incredible rarity comes down to the source, a milking herd of just 3 moose. They only produce milk from May to September, yielding just enough for those 300 kilograms. That scarcity is why a single kilogram costs around $1,000. You can't treat a moose like a dairy cow. These are semi-wild animals, and if they feel any stress, the milk stops flowing. Milking is a silent 2-hour process that relies on years of trust. Each moose gives only about 5 liters of milk a day, the real secret to the cheese's exclusivity. The milk itself is incredibly rich, with 12% fat. From there, everything is done by hand. The curds are handled gently to preserve the subtle flavors from the moose's forest diet. The farm makes several types, including a creamy blue cheese and a popular feta-style cheese. It's a slow, deliberate craft. Finally, the tasting. The feta style is unbelievably smooth. The flavor is rich and buttery, with a clean, tangy finish and a subtle, earthy note. It's complex and delicate, not gamey at all. Next, the blue cheese. It has that classic sharp bite, but the creaminess of the moose milk rounds it out perfectly. This isn't a gimmick, it's a world-class cheese. Bird nest soup, the treasure hidden in caves. This isn't a gold mine. The treasure these people are risking their lives for is spit. By weight, it's one of the most expensive animal products on Earth. This is the death-defying harvest for bird's nest soup, a delicacy so valuable its story stretches from the feasts of ancient emperors to the front lines of a modern environmental battle. The treasure is the nest of the swiftlet, a tiny bird that builds its home almost entirely from its own saliva. For over 1,000 years, these hardened threads have been called the caviar of the East, a symbol of status first prized by Chinese emperors. To get wild nests, harvesters scale sheer limestone cliffs and drop into pitch-black caves, often with nothing more than handmade ropes and rickety bamboo ladders. It's a generational trade, demanding immense bravery, where one wrong step could be their last. Getting to the nests is only half the battle. Each one must be painstakingly cleaned by hand to remove every tiny impurity. This combination of extreme danger and meticulous labor explains why a single bowl of this soup can cost from $30 to over $100. When prepared, the nest dissolves into a gelatinous, almost ethereal texture. The flavor itself is subtle. It's about the unique mouthfeel and the rich broth it's served in. So why has this been a prized delicacy for 1,000 years? In traditional Chinese medicine, it's seen as a superfood that boosts the immune system and restores vitality. Modern science has found some truth in this, as the nests are packed with proteins and amino acids. Some studies have noted potential benefits for skin health, which is why it's now also used in high-end skincare products. This blend of cultural belief and nutritional content has created a booming global market, valued at over $8 billion in 2025.